Hi everyone, it's Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. We're at back end of August and going to do a how to prune your wisteria video for summer. I'll be honest, I did one last year, wasn't very good. Going to do it again. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I'm dealing with. So, as I say, we're back end of August. Really should have been doing this in July, but as with every year, time just gets away from you. So, you can see how crazy it's gone. I have already got up and pulled all of that growth out as it was wrapped around the light and up into the gutter, but that's what we're dealing with. So, why do summer prune a wisteria? Well, basically a couple of reasons. One, because you've got so much of this unruly growth and it just goes crazy, and secondly, you want to get some of this wayward growth to mature enough to be able to hold flower for the spring. So that's what we're going to do. Have a look at pruning and tying as we go. So the first thing to consider, obviously, the fact that the whole plant's got leaf on makes it a bit harder to do it properly. So that's why really you're just sort of doing a bit of the basics, pruning, removing dead stuff, looking for good work. So something like that, a long section that's got some good thickness to it, so that we would retain, and that will be tied in to extend the system, as with some of these other pieces. But where you've got this spindly growth, well, stuff like that will be actually no good for tying in. So that's the sort of growth you'll be cutting back, and when you're looking at it, so it's coming from back there, you're then looking to trim this back to 4 to 6 inches in total length, which could be 3 or 4 buds, and that is all you're doing to these more spindly pieces. Equally, if you've got any dead sections, dead, diseased, damaged 3Ds, then we take those back and remove those. So there's a little bit of pruning work to be done, but on the whole, not a lot. So let's just remove that for you, and then you can see. So that is obviously dead. So start by removing your obvious dead pieces, trim back your spindly growth, tie in your good growth, and that's what we'll do. So I'll get started and then show you as we get on to some tying. Right, so this is first section's tying. It's coming out top near the window, so most people would probably just think tie it in straight, but actually you will do better, you'll get a better result if you put a slight bend to it. So what we'll do, bring it down to your second wire and then bring it in that away, and then allow it to then get a slight arc. That change in direction, or giving you a slight bend, will encourage more vertical growths to appear, and it also encourage it to produce flower at a quicker stage. So that's how we'll tie that in. Just going to be using this jute because well, it's nice and strong, it breaks down over a couple of years, but generally speaking, with the wisterias or with climbers, I like to strip it all back in the winter anyway and retie it, because the last thing you want is some of these ties to start binding into the stems as they get thicker. So let me just tie this in. So you see, tied in there, tied in at the top, tying just behind the leaf bud, then that way it's not going to move too much, and we do the prune just above the joint, the leaf joint there, so then this bud will then carry on to grow. Essentially just repeat process. So with this section here where it's now extending and coming all the way down, you could look at this and be tempted to then curl it up, but actually by the time we get to this last section there isn't the thickness and the strength in the stem, so better off snip it, get rid of that, and then wait for these buds to take over, which will then give you the wraparounds to form this end hip. So that's a little tip there for you. But I'll just show you this section just to explain to you really. So given how the plant wants to grow, it has started from here, which is coming off previous growth, and this section was tied, well, it's twined itself up there, and it's actually curls quite a bit with obvious pigtails. So rather than cutting the whole lot off or getting more up the top, which we don't really want, what we're going to do is change direction, so tie it in so it comes on a downward slope, and that will enable us then to add in a bit of extra body here. Also by changing the direction or sloping it down, you will break that apical dominance, which will hopefully encourage a bit more of these lateral growths and ripen up the wood nicely to carry some flower. So that's what we'll do. So it just means that one, you're tidying up this top bit and you're not sacrificing too much, and two, it improves this section. So that's what I do. So there we have it. It's all tied in now for you. You can see the hips that have been created around here with all the fresh growth. So we will leave it like that until all the leaves drop off, and then we do the proper winter prune and tie in. But that's it for the summer, all done. As always, thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it interesting. If you've got any questions, please send them over to me. I'll do my best to answer them for you. In the meantime, if you like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button, and most importantly, whilst the sun's out, you know, a couple of days of sun now, get out in the garden, have some fun, and see you all soon. Bye for now.